Welcome to the Uzziah Show, where being young, black, and successful is celebrated. I am your host, Uzziah, your success strategist. And if you have any questions about your business, career, or finances, then this is the show for you. Welcome, guys. I'm so excited to have y'all on. Today, we are going to talk about 10 signs why you should not be an entrepreneur. This is going to be a very important broadcast. Make sure that y'all leave a comment because I really want to know your thoughts on the subject. Should you be an entrepreneur? Yes or no? Now, shout out to those of y'all that are already in the house. If you just now joined, make sure that you leave me a comment with your name and the city that you're from so that I could show you some love and see you online. So for those of you that are joining this broadcast for the very first time, I am Uzziah. I'm a professional business consultant, and my job is to help you get out of debt and start your own business. But today, I want to talk about why not everybody is an entrepreneur. So, as y'all know, this is going to be jam-packed with a bunch of free game to help y'all get to the next level. And all I ask in return is that you keep the engagement going, guys. Keep the comments going. Keep the likes coming. Make sure that y'all donate and super chat. Your support goes a very long way towards keeping this show on air. The show is growing, y'all, and the channel is growing. So thank y'all so much for your support. And I also want to give a shout out to Sonia, the one you seek. Okay, I'm seeing some new faces on the channel commenting. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Tonight, we're going to talk about the 10 signs why you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. Now, before I want to get into that, I also want to remind you guys to make sure that you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. That way you can get alerted whenever I do another show. As some of you know, whenever we reach 10,000 subscribers, then that is when the Black Men's Career clothing line is coming out on YouTube. So make sure that you subscribe. And once we hit 10,000 subs, that's when you'll have access to the shirts and the hoodies. Let's get into the topic, guys. Let's not waste no more time. 10 signs you should not be an entrepreneur. You know, I came into entrepreneurship during an era where entrepreneur was being I came into entrepreneurship during an era where entrepreneurship was sexy. I came into entrepreneurship during a time where it seemed like everybody was racing to start their own business. You know, there's been so much talk about how you should be your own boss, you should quit your 9 to 5 job, you should live life the way that you want, but not everybody is an entrepreneur. And I wish that somebody would have told me some of the things that I'm about to tell you guys, because it is very important for you to learn before you decide to start your own business. Some of the things that I say tonight, y'all might not like it, but your brother loves you. And I want to give y'all the real on this game of business before you make any life decisions moving forward. All right. So let's get into these 10 signs. The first sign on why you should not be an entrepreneur is if you are soft. If you are very soft and sensitive, then entrepreneurship may not be for you. And the reason why I say this is because in the game of business, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to bail you out of a bad situation if your business is not going the way that you want it to go. When you are a boss, All roads end with you. And so you can't go to anybody else for support. You have to be comfortable going through hard times. One of the biggest reasons why most people don't become entrepreneurs is because they value comfort and convenience. The average person values the comfort of knowing, regardless of how they performed at work, as long as they have a job, they're going to be paid on the 1st and the 15th. They can set their watch on how much money they're going to make, regardless of their performance. And the thing about entrepreneurship is you can't miss days and still get paid. At a 9 to 5 job, you could take six sick days, you can take vacation days, you can kind of half-ass the work. I'm sorry, I just got to say it, but you could do so many different things and still get rewarded. Whereas for everything that you don't do in your business at 100%, it's going to show. If you don't operate at 100% in your products and your customer service, you're going to suffer for it. And so I strongly advise that those that want to be entrepreneurs have very thick skin. When you start up a business, over time, not everybody is going to like you. You're going to have haters. That's just the way of the world. So if you are so emotionally driven by people having negative things to say, people leaving bad reviews, things not always panning out the way that you would want it to, then entrepreneurship might not be for you. You might be better off being a part of a large organization where you can just do one set job and hide. I'm not saying that to try to offend anybody. I'm saying that because I'm giving y'all the real, and I'm just trying to show you up front what it takes. Everybody is out here selling entrepreneurship as something being so sexy and so easy, and you just magically fall into millions of dollars. As your brother that loves you, I'm giving y'all the real deal. Now, shout out to those of y'all that are already on. Tonight, we're talking about the 10 signs you should not be an entrepreneur. Ron, I see you in the house, brother. Shout out to you. I hope all is well with you and yours. If you're just now joining, make sure that you smash that like button and make sure that you leave a name and a comment so that I know you are here. All right. I want to get y'all's commentary on the subject. Should you be an entrepreneur? I'm asking you personally. Should you be an entrepreneur? If the answer is yes, tell me the reason why you should be a business owner. If you say no, why not? Why shouldn't you be a business owner? There's no wrong answer. Everything is valid because you're speaking from your own perspective. I just want to get the conversation going. I'm a strong believer that not everybody is an entrepreneur. So you're never going to see me tell everybody, hey, everybody should quit their job. Nobody should work at any company. I'm a firm believer that entrepreneurship is not for everyone. But if you are bold enough to take that step, I'll be here to help you every single step along the way. Okay. So, the second sign that you should not be an entrepreneur is if you are lazy. If you are a lazy person, you definitely should stay at a 9 to 5 job, because when you work as your own boss, you are going to be harder on yourself than any other manager if you want to make it. I'm telling y'all, and I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but I just want to stay here. If you are lazy, you should not be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs are the only people who are willing to work 80 hours a week so that they don't have to work for somebody else for 40 hours a week. Now, one of the biggest selling points about being an entrepreneur that everybody talks about is having the ability to set your own hours. And while that's true, the pendulum swings both ways. You could be at a 9 to 5 job on a fixed schedule, but at least when it's time to go at the job, it's time to go. When you start your own business, there is no end time. There is no, oh, it's 5 o'clock now. Regardless of how the company is looking, you could walk away from it. No. As an entrepreneur, it could be 7, 8, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. I've pulled all nighters for my business in the past on multiple days because if a job needs to get done, then it needs to get done. There is no system that's set up for you to say, hey, all you have to do is work this many hours and you will get paid. When you set up your own business, time is largely disconnected from money. It's no longer about the time that you offer as much as it is the value. You're still paid in a workplace according to the value that you have to offer, but everything is that much more value specific. You have to focus on adding value to your products and services. And that's the reason why I'm telling y'all that you can't be lazy. All right. Shout out to my brother Chief in the South. Good to see you on here as always, my brother. Tonight, we're talking about the 10 signs why you should not be an entrepreneur. See, I know that this may sound hard, but I would much rather give you the real deal up front than lie to you and then you start to hate me because I made entrepreneurship sound like pie in the sky. I'm not one of those guys. If I love you like I say that I love you, I'm going to give you the real deal step by step. I do think that more of us definitely need to be entrepreneurs within our community, but it's not for everybody. So that's what we're talking about in tonight's topic. Sonia, the one you seek, said that part. You cannot be a lazy boss, at least not in the first 5 years. Those are facts. And it's so funny that you said that, Sonia, because that actually leads to the third sign that you should not be an entrepreneur, which is you should not, you expect to get rich overnight. If somebody expects to be an overnight success, they definitely should not be an entrepreneur because you need to go through 5 to 10 years of famine in order to hit it big. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying that that's going to be everybody when they start a business. I know guys right now that I've coached and counseled, and they hit the ground running right out the gate. I'm just getting you mentally prepared if your business is just like 99% of people's businesses on the planet. 99% of all businesses is a slow process. It's a slow burn. You're not going to be the next Mark Zuckerberg overnight. And it's too often that we see all of these movies and documentaries about guys like Steve Jobs, who, were these larger than life figures. And then we tend to idolize them and want to be just like them. There's nothing wrong with being a visionary and having a strong purpose, but you got to get yourself mentally prepared for the journey ahead. You need to have extreme patience if you're going to be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is a very lonely sport where you have to be your own energy for years before the market starts to reward you. I'm telling y'all, I've heard a lot of stories about guys who made a successful business online that spent years living on somebody else's couch. They were just being a couch potato for years before their business ever hit it big. They had roommates. A lot of the guys were living out of their parents' garage. So don't think that as soon as you have an idea and you bring it to the marketplace, then instantly it's going to be something. Chances are it ain't going to be nothing just right off of the rip. Okay. Now, I still want to talk a little bit more about this lazy piece. Okay. When I'm talking about being lazy, I'm not just talking about being physically lazy. I'm talking about being intellectually lazy also. A large reason why most people will suffer in business is because they are not lifelong learners. They will not go and search out the knowledge that's needed on how to successfully run a business. Most people won't even watch a video like this, and this is for free. So imagine having to go out and buy books, find mentors, attend conferences. Most people, unfortunately, are so comfort driven that they're not going to continually learn from one year to the next how to get to the next level. And because school did not teach us how to be entrepreneurs for the most part, a lot of us just never end up doing it. If you're going to be successful, you have to get past physical and intellectual laziness. Y'all know a lot of us be lazy, y'all. And when I'm talking about this intellectual laziness, I'm talking about you not reading, not studying, not finding out how the best of the best play the game. And a big part of being intellectually lazy is being too stubborn. A lot of us are so damn stubborn that there's no way that we can ever figure out how to get our business working. We try something one time, and then if it doesn't work that one time, then that's when we give up on it because we are not adaptable and we don't look for other solutions that might be outside of our school of thought. Now, I got to throw this out here real quick. We've been on this live for a little bit, and there's been no super chats. Where these donations at, y'all? These are the 10 signs I ain't getting no support. If you love this show and you want to keep the show on air, then please tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box in order to donate. Also, you can donate via Cash App or PayPal. The links are in the description below. Now, Nicole P says, while I believe I have great potential to be one, I don't have the commitment to see it through. I admire her honesty. A lot of us get very delusional about our strengths. And as a result, we get out into the marketplace and then we fail. You have to be very self-aware if you're going to make it as an entrepreneur. And so she said, while I believe I have great potential to be one, I don't have the commitment to see it through. Also, now that I'm a new mother, I don't want to start anything that would take me away from my family. You know the reason why I love that you said that, Nicole P? Because when you start a business, that business becomes your baby. This baby is going to keep you up all night, just like a physical child. You don't get any rest. Even if the baby is not screaming your name, when you go to sleep at night, you're going to be thinking about your baby. Man, should I have done this? Should I do that? If I change the words on this website, will I get more customers? You see, when you're at a job, you have a lot more comfort because the outcomes of things are in somebody else's hands. But for every failure that you have in your business, again, the buck stops with you. You look at yourself in the mirror, and that gives you a lot more anxiety and a lot more pressure. So your business becomes your own baby. Nicole P also said, I would say that it's not for me at this point in my life, maybe later. Well, hey, I'm definitely glad that you can see that within yourself. And I would agree. Make sure that you take care of the young God, Nikki P. Take care of the young boy. Make sure that he's raised right. And then maybe once you get a little bit more time, then maybe it's be a good opportunity for you to indulge in entrepreneurship later. And I thank Brother Yasha Allah, our top sponsor, so much for the $20 super chat. Thank you, my brother. I was in a drought, man. I was in a drought. As soon as I mentioned donations, people started dropping off. Thank you so much for the support, my brother. Really appreciate it. Thank you, as always, for the $20 super chat. He says, Shalom Elder, I hope that your trip was wonderful. Yes. For those of y'all that didn't know, Yesterday, I went out to Louisiana on a day trip to give out food to brothers and sisters that were affected by Hurricane Ida. We went to LaPlace, Louisiana, giving out food and water with my church, True Spirit of Christ. Keep Louisiana in your prayers, y'all, because there's a lot of people out there that are suffering. I saw it with my own eyes, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Shout out to the brother G. Moses Jr. in the house. He said he's currently using business to create multiple streams of income while working 9 to 5ish to get up and running. And that's a big important part too, because there's a lot of discussion about being an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur. So you can be an entrepreneur and you can still have an entrepreneurial spirit while working at a job. And here's another thing that I want to put a lot of y'all on also. You don't have to quit your job to have your own business. Like, you could have a side business, have you a nice little side hustle. You don't have to make it so risky to where you just leave everything behind and burn the boats. If you need to have a certain stability, or you just have a certain skill set to where it makes sense for you to stay working at a job, then by all means, keep your job while running your business in the background. For those of y'all that have been on some of my previous episodes, one of the things that I've also talked about was why it's so important that you don't quit your job until you have a consistent track record of generating high income from your business. If you don't see that your business is making enough money to replace your current income, then you should stay at your 9 to 5. It doesn't have to be one or the others, guys. It doesn't have to be, all right, well, I'm either at the job and I'm either just job living and I never, find my entrepreneurial dreams, or I burn the boat, I quit the job, I give my boss the middle finger, now I can start my own business. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You can do both. You just have to time manage. And that's going to get into another part, but I'm gonna hold off on that one for a second. Y'all be getting me so riled up that I'll be wanting to tell y'all all these 10 signs like right now. So for those of y'all that just now joined, welcome. Tonight we're talking about the 10 signs that you should not be an entrepreneur. I want y'all to leave me a comment and let me know, should you be an entrepreneur? Yes or no? If you should be an entrepreneur and you say yes, I would love to learn why. If you say no, I would love to learn why not. Shout out to my sister Nicole P for the $5 super chat. Thank you for helping a brother out, my sister. All right. Thank you for not having me starve over here, y'all. Please, if you love the show, y'all, please donate. All you got to do is smash that dollar icon directly below the live chat box, or you can donate via Cash App or PayPal. The links are in the description below. Whenever you donate, I give you a big shout out and acknowledge you as one of the sponsors of the show. Now, in fact, Nicole P, I want to publicly celebrate you and your household for your sponsorship. So please send me an email at uzziah@blackmenscareer.com, Nicole, and I will be sending you guys one of my paid products for free as my way of saying thank you for being a consistent sponsor. For some of you guys that have just started watching my show, you might not have seen where in times past I was gifting a lot of loyal supporters with my paid products, whether they be my $100 products or $1,000 products, just as a way of saying thank you. When y'all pour into me, I pour into you. So tonight we're talking about 10 signs you should not be an entrepreneur. You should not be an entrepreneur if you are too soft, because business is blood sport. It is very, very hard. Don't listen to anybody. Oh my God, it's so easy to make $1 million. It's so easy. Okay. You know what? You can get to the money, but you're going to have to get past a lot of things first before the money comes. And one of the biggest things that you're going to have to get past is yourself, your bad habits, bad mindset, a lot of the self-limiting beliefs that you've taught yourself. If you can't get past those things, there's no way that you're going to be a successful entrepreneur. You cannot be an entrepreneur being lazy. Don't be physically or intellectually lazy. Okay. You cannot. Okay. Another sign you should not be an entrepreneur is if you expect to get rich overnight. There are too many guys that are starting up businesses thinking, as soon as I launch this website, I'm instantly going to make 1 million. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. It's going to take blood, sweat, and tears. Listen, guys, I've been in my business since 2013, and I've been learning and growing along the way. I've had good seasons and I've had bad seasons. So I can tell y'all, as somebody that's been doing this for a while, it takes time, which is why you need to have extreme patience. I want some of y'all that's serious about starting your own business to check out this movie called The Founder by Michael Keaton. In that movie, it's the story of McDonald's, and it shows how Ray A. Kroc put up his mortgage to try to fund his business, and he almost ended up losing his home. So I just want y'all to see, whenever you get into these businesses, it's not going to be an overnight success. Some people are going to start businesses, and as soon as they get started, they're going to see some results. For the average person, that's not going to be the case. You're going to have to get out here, you're going to have to work, and you might not see any rewards from all of your labor until 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line. Black Girl Lavish says, I'm working a 9 to 5 while working on my online business. Shout out to those of y'all that are fresh faces in these comment sections. Sisters like Black Girl Lavish, Sonia, the one that you seek. I'm really excited to have y'all on as a part of the show. Welcome. Black Girl Lavish says, I'm working a 9 to 5 while working on my online business. Good approach. I just manage my time well. When I'm on lunch break, I'm working on my business while eating. Shout out to you. That's the way to do it. You know, when I started my online business, I will work on my business before and after I went to work. And I would also work on the business a little bit during the shift, like on lunch break. So for those of you guys that want to get into this game, man, you're going to have to be effective time managers. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in just a second. But the fourth sign that you should not be an entrepreneur is that you don't like solving problems. Business is solving problems. When you become an entrepreneur, you are a full-time problem solver. Why doesn't this website work the way that it's supposed to? How come people can't see the buy button and place their orders? You're going to have to be the one figuring this stuff out. When you're just starting out, you're not going to have, this big company of all these employees that you can just tell to do stuff. It's all going to come down to you. You should not be an entrepreneur if you don't like solving problems. And the problem is, the problems come in so many different ways. Sometimes you're going to have problems with the wrong customers. Sometimes you're going to have problems with the wrong employees. Sometimes you're going to have problems with yourself because you won't feel like working on whatever day that you need to do business. But you have to work through all of that. You have to figure out how to make your business work. And you're not going to have an HR department. You're not going to have all of these different departments to help you fix the problem. A lot of problems you're going to have to figure out on yourself, on your own. You're going to have to start Googling stuff, looking up tutorial videos. You're going to have to be in it for all of it, y'all. You cannot just be in this thing for money. And I got to say this. When we talk about one sign of why you should not be an entrepreneur being laziness, there's a big difference between wanting to be an entrepreneur versus not wanting to be on the corporate plantation. Y'all don't hear me. A lot of y'all say that you want to be your own boss. Just because you hate getting the whip on your back from working for another person. You don't want another person telling you what to do. You don't like the long commute. But the problem is there's a big difference between not wanting to go through certain hardships versus having the passion and the energy to sign up for a whole new set of hardships that comes along with being your own business owner. A lot of y'all just want more comfort. You may not like your job because it's uncomfortable, but I promise you, when you start off your business, it is not going to be any more comfortable than your 9 to 5. You have to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. No matter if you're working at a job, whether you're working for yourself, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. The only difference is you are choosing your discomfort. So every day when I'm running my business, I'm choosing the discomfort of solving problems that I don't like. I'm choosing to put in more hours because at least when I put in the hours, it's towards a vision that I care about. When I was working in corporate America, I didn't really care about the vision of the work that I was doing. I was just at a job that allowed me to get paid. Okay. Now, the fifth thing, and this is big, this is very, 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 very big. Please do not start down this path if you are not serious about this fifth point. A fifth sign that you should not be an entrepreneur is that you don't live by a standard of excellence. Some of you guys like to mail it in all of your work, but you cannot be average and survive. When you look at all of these companies that are out here doing it, they all are excellent at something. You have to be excellent, y'all. You know the reason why you have to be excellent is because even when you strive for excellence, you might only land on good. Yep. Listen, y'all. Y'all need to, let's get these likes up. Let's get these super chats going. Some of this stuff I'm gonna put on Patreon because y'all don't want to hear me on this free game that I'm giving out. Hear me on what I just said. You need to have a standard of excellence because even when you shoot for excellence, there's a good chance you won't achieve it. It's going to take y'all like a good 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years to shoot for excellence and reach excellence. This is the exact same saying as shoot for the moon because even when you miss, you'll still be among the stars. So imagine that you go into a business and you say, you know what, I don't want to go all out. I just want it to be cool. You know what your business will end up being if you just want it to be cool? It will suck. Because just because you shoot for a target doesn't mean that you will hit it. There's a lot of people that start businesses every year that have good intentions, but those businesses fail. So if you're not going into it with a mindset of excellence and working hard from sun up to sundown to get on that level, it's no way that is going to happen, y'all. Don't think that you could bring in that same average work ethic from a 9 to 5 and think that you're about to be out here making money. Okay, listen, when I'm saying that you're going to work at your business, you're going to work. You're not going to be like at the job where you say that you're working and you punching somebody else's clock. But really, the whole time you on Facebook, you emailing, you texting, checking your phone. When you get into starting your own business, you are going to have to work like you've never worked before. Trust me. I don't care if it's a brick and mortar business or online business, you're going to have to work. So if you don't go into things with a standard of excellence, I am going to be excellent at something. Don't quit right now while you're ahead. Don't even give yourself the headache of trying to start a business because it's going to be a nightmare. The question is, though, what will you be excellent at? Are you going to be excellent at customer service? Are you going to be excellent at the quality of your product? You don't have to be excellent at every part of your business in order to survive, but you do have to be world class in something. I know all of y'all have been, customers of businesses that you didn't think that were that great. But if they were staying open from year to year, it was something about that business that was being done with excellence. Maybe they were excellent when it came to their consistency. Maybe they were excellent when it came to their speed. It was something about what they did that kept them at the top of their game. And I want to give a shout out to my brother Roy for the $10 super chat. I pray all is well with you, my brother. I can't wait to see you again pretty soon, man. I'm looking forward to us doing some camping for the Feast of Tabernacles. Sister Pecloria said, yes, it takes a lot of time and sacrifice. I've been on my job 22 years. I can only imagine where I would be if I had started my business 22 years ago. Yeah, man, ooh. I don't even want to say where you could be, because I don't want to put any spirits on you. You know what I mean? I don't want to make you feel bad on that. But I'm with you when you talk about the time on where you could have been. And that's the reason why, if you're planning on starting a business, start now. I always tell you all that. If you want to be your own business owner, start now, because you need to go through so much time of just figuring out what works before you actually reach success. So if you're just now joining, welcome. Make sure that you smash that like button. Today we're talking about 10 signs that you should not be an entrepreneur. Okay. Should you be an entrepreneur? That's the question. You personally, that's watching me right now. If you should be an entrepreneur, tell me yes. If you should not be an entrepreneur, tell me why. I want to hear y'all's comments. Okay. Number 6, the sixth reason why you shouldn't be an entrepreneur is that you don't know how to self-manage. This is the sixth sign of a person that should not be their own boss. I always tell you guys about the scariest moment of my adult life. The scariest moment of my life as an adult was the first day I worked for myself as a full-time entrepreneur. It was on that day where I realized that I was experiencing the very first time in my entire life where my entire day was up to me. I didn't have a parent telling me what to do. I didn't have a school that was giving me homework. I didn't have a job where the boss was telling me what needed to get worked on. This was the first time in my life where my outcome was 100% up to me. I know it might not sound like much if you haven't been through it, but that is some scary stuff. That's some scary ish right there, y'all. If you don't know how to manage yourself, you should learn how to do it before you become an entrepreneur. Hear what I'm saying? There's a lot of y'all that are out there that are hardworking. You're competent, but you've only done things with competence because other people have told you to do it. You've never lived your life in a way where 7 days a week, everything falls on you. You've always had the luxury of being able to blame somebody else for the outcomes of things because your parent told you what to do and you knew that they, might not have made the right decision, or you could always blame it on your boss that you said is dumb. What happens the day where you have a complete Monday through Friday and everything comes down to the decisions that you made, from the time that you decided when to wake up, to the foods that you decided to eat, on how that would play into your energy, into the business decisions that you made, where every outcome is your fault. One of the best things that y'all need to do if you want to be an entrepreneur is to start adopting the mindset that everything is your fault. If you don't have this mindset, it will be very easy for your business to fail, because you're always going to be looking for somebody else to blame the same way you might have done when you were at work. Remember when you were at work and you hated that one coworker who was so annoying and got on your last nerve? It was easy to blame them for something. But subconsciously, we tend to always look to other people to find fault until we become our own business and we're a one man show. When you get into one man show, who else will you have to blame? You got to start putting yourself in the mindset now. Everything is my fault. I'm going to give a prime example of what I mean when I say everything is my fault. In my 20s, one of the biggest challenges that I had was managing my time effectively between being a church leader versus being an entrepreneur. And there was so much of my business that was sacrificed due to the amount of time that I was putting towards my church. Now, the thing about it is, I could look to everybody else and say, man, it's that person's fault. They had me doing this and they had me doing that. But that doesn't profit me, because if I blame somebody else, then I take myself out of a position of power. If I always blame somebody else as to why my life isn't where I want it to be, then that means I'm giving somebody else the power of my life's outcomes. So in everything that I do, I say, okay, well, this is my fault, because I'm a grown man and I should know, if I'm gonna be a successful entrepreneur, I have to put in this many hours. So if I allowed anybody else to influence me not to put in those hours, then I can only blame myself because I knew better. You have to be comfortable blaming yourself for everything. That's a part of self-managing. If nobody tells you what to do, then what will you do for yourself? You have to understand how to prioritize. The seventh thing, and I'm gonna give y'all this link right now to cam up. I want to see y'all camming up with me because I wanted to get y'all's feedback on whether or not you feel that you should be an entrepreneur. The seventh sign on why you should not be an entrepreneur is if you are not a leader. You have to be a leader as a boss, because you have to know how to manage other people. Listen, y'all, you got all of these solo entrepreneurs that are out here making money. But when you look at the biggest companies in America, they all have employees. Every large company is run by a team. If it's just you and you alone, there's only so far that you're going to get. And honestly, if it's only you, all you've made for yourself was another job. I'm constantly spending my day delegating a task to other people, whether it's to my assistants, whether it's to my accountants, whether it's to anybody that I may have on my staff to help me get the job done. You have to know how to manage people. If you start your own business and you don't know how to communicate effectively, your business is going to be a train wreck, because you have to get people's help. Okay, you cannot do anything on a large scale, guys, without having other people on board. All major empires was led by teams. So if you don't have leadership skills, then this is the right time to learn. And the next eighth sign that you're not ready to be an entrepreneur is if you are not consistent. Now, this kind of brings me back to something that Nicole P said earlier. It's slightly different. She made a statement about being committed, but one of the things that goes hand in hand with commitment is consistency. One of the biggest parts of being your own boss is showing up. So if you can't show up on a consistent basis and do what you're supposed to do, then these are skills and disciplines that you need to get before you start your own business. I tell you guys this all the time. Whenever you're setting up your own business, you're going to have hours of operations to the general public. They're going to expect you to show up regardless of what is going on. I just came back from Louisiana last night. I made a day trip. I am tired as hell. But when I get on here, it's go time. I gotta come. I gotta bring the energy. I gotta engage. I gotta interact. You're not trying to hear, oh, Uzziah, he has to sleep. Guys, just pray for him. Hope he has a speedy recovery. You're not trying to hear that. Y'all trying to get these gems for free. That's the reason why I tell you to smash the like button. That's the reason why I'm telling y'all to donate and give y'all a super chat, because the show must go on. So if you are not mentally prepared to consistently show up day after day, get yourself there now in order to start a business. If you don't show up, you're going to disappoint your customers. If you don't show up, you're going to lose a lot of value on what you have to offer. Your credibility will drop. Your reliability will drop. If there is not consistency in all of your efforts, it's going to impact the company. Now, look at what Black Girl Lavish said. She said, for me, it's my speed. She was talking about excellence. She puts a lot of her excellence behind her speed, the quality of her product, and her customer service. Shout out to you, Black Girl Lavish. A lot of my customer reviews said that they were impressed by how fast I shipped, and they loved the product I shipped twice a week. So once you find out what you're really good at doing, you got to start doubling down on that. That's one thing that I tell all of y'all aspiring business owners. Your customers are going to tell you what it is that you do well. So you need to do more of what you do well, less of what you don't, and always be consistent. You have to always hold yourself accountable, whether you feel like showing up or not. Number 9, you don't know how to talk to people. Listen, how are you ever going to get customers if you don't know how to build relationships? One of the top books that I recommend that a lot of y'all read, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I know, Black people, why would I read a book like that, Uzziah? I know how to talk. I have friends. See, one of the biggest reasons why a lot of us ain't really getting to the success in a certain way is because we think that we know it already. We already think that we got it down pat. Why do y'all think that books like this sell millions of copies if it was so basic? You have to know how to build relationships. You have to know how to create a network. So, if you are so combative that you can never smile at somebody, how are you going to have customers? If you don't know how to be able to compliment somebody and how to care for other people's needs, there's no way that somebody's going to want to do business with you. When you're starting off as an entrepreneur, a lot of people are going to believe in you before they believe in your product. So if I'm doing business with a guy like Gilbert Moses, before I even eat the product, I'm bought into him. I love him. And even if the product is good or bad, I'm still going to be happy to have given him some support. Now, shout out to Gilbert Moses because his products are good. He's a perfectionist just like me. And what I'm saying is, guys, there's a lot of us that it's like all you think about is the money, but you don't think about every other step that comes before the money. Before the money comes, you have to have impressed somebody enough for them to pull the money out of their wallet to give it to you. You got to know how to check on people. You got to know how to get out there and communicate and build effective relationships. So if you don't know how to talk to people, maybe some of y'all are too introverted. You need to work on that. I'm telling y'all this right now. I am an introvert. I'm a massive introvert by nature, but I have to get on camera in order to communicate. Some of you guys might be writers. Some of you guys might want to do a podcast. You cannot just lean on, oh, well, Uzziah, because I'm introverted, I can't be a business owner. Shut up. Yes, you can. You're being taught by somebody that's an introvert. You have no excuse. You have to know how to talk to people. Okay. Listen, you got to know how to talk to people until you make enough money to where you can hire somebody else to do the talking for you. And even when you get on those levels, if you're running a business like I am, you still have to be the face. So these are very important lessons that you need to know. The 10th and final reason why you should not be an entrepreneur, the 10th and last sign, is that you are so selfish. A very selfish person is not going to thrive as an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs have to give massive value to other people. There's a lot of y'all that are looking at my business and say, man, I can never do what he's doing. I can never give out all these gems to all of these people for free. Well, that's a part of selfishness, because my business requires me to have to engage people where they are. I could easily keep all the knowledge and all the gems to myself, but guess what? If I do that, I'm not getting paid. So you have to get out into the marketplace and take your strengths, your gifts, and your talents and start giving it away liberally. You have to be generous with this, y'all, because you're going to get back what you put in. A lot of us think in terms of scarcity. Oh man, if I give this away, what else would I have for myself? But this will be the exact same reason that we won't make a lot of money, why we won't grow, why people don't want to do business with us. If you are a very considerate person that cares for others, a lot of people will want to do business with you just on the strength of wanting to give back to a good person. I'm telling y'all, that's how I end up getting a lot of business, because people will notice that I genuinely care and I don't have to give away all of my content for free. But because they see that I'm so focused on really helping people get to the next level, as a result, people want to give back. And that's how I stay in business. So, Yasha Allah, I'm going to cam you up in just a second. Those are the 10 signs that you're not an entrepreneur. You're soft and you value comfort. You're lazy physically and intellectually. You expect to get rich overnight. You don't like solving problems. You don't live by a standard of excellence. You're comfortable doing things average. You don't know how to self-manage. You're always used to everybody else telling you what to do. Remember what we read earlier from Black Girl Lavish when she said that she was good at knowing how to manage her time well? You have to know how to do that if you're going to get ahead. Number 7, you're not a leader. Number 8, you're not consistent. Number 9, you don't know how to talk to people. And number 10, you're selfish. If you embody these 10 signs, it's not to say that you can't be an entrepreneur. But if you don't work on these things, it's going to be very hard for you to succeed as an entrepreneur. So I'm giving y'all the warning. Focus on this now. Improve it so that way you can be your own boss. Yasha Allah, what you got for us?
Shalom, Elder. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm glad you made it back safely.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, like you were saying, like you said, being in business for yourself, an entrepreneur. I started young and didn't even know it till these classes. I never knew. My grandfather had a business, a barbershop. So we was around there growing up, hearing all the stories. You know how a barbershop was behind the house.
Right.
He did carpentry work after he retired. He still worked and still had this going on. And like you said before, back then you didn't need a license for being a barber. Now they saw you make money, they changed the laws. You know what I mean? I was around my father, you know what I mean, with dogs. Later on I had my own dog kennel. You know what I'm saying? We had before. After that, I was doing brick mess with my father. My father was a car salesman. He still did work on the side, so I was around it. Didn't know it. You know what I mean? What was really going on? Cause my parents was different. You're gonna go to work or get out the house, but you ain't gonna eat. That's how it was back then. You know what I'm saying? So you had a choice: starve or work. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't care what kind of work it was. You know what I mean? So, but it's work because you work
Right.
hard. Your hands work hard, what you do. Your mind work hard, what you do. Like me driving a truck, people think, no, it's not what you think it is when you have your own. If you're a company driver, you can say, hey, truck tore up. I'm not a mechanic. Fix it. That's on them. But me, I got to know what's wrong with the truck. I got to find the right mechanics. I got to know what it costs. I got to check my account to pay for it. You know what I mean? I got to know where the customer's at, what is it paying, how many miles, when I'm going to stop, when I'm getting fuel. All this is constantly the traffic, everything, even the laws. And a lot of us don't even want to learn the laws in our business that affect you. Because in
Right.
trucking, it's federal. So I got to make sure that federal laws, and we have laws every year. They don't tell you, like, when did that happen? You know what I mean?
Let me throw this part in here real quick because I like that you started talking about the laws. If you don't know how to self-manage, which is one of the 10 points, it'll be a lot easier for y'all to get into legal trouble as an entrepreneur because you need to be up on things like business taxes. If you don't know how to understand these different tax codes and understand when are you supposed to file your business taxes and when are you supposed to, how are you supposed to pay yourself? All of these things can come back to bite you. That's the reason why we're saying this stuff. And honestly, it takes a certain type of person to be an entrepreneur. Wouldn't you agree? It takes a certain kind of person because you have to have the right mindset in order for your business to get to the next level. Now, what I'm saying is nothing wrong if you're not this type of person. Either you can decide that, hey, maybe entrepreneurship ain't for me, or I'm willing to grow and develop and to get better so that it can be me. Listen, I started my business thinking I was an entrepreneur. And as much as I have certain characteristics of an entrepreneur over the years, I've had to learn and get better and develop in order to really take my business to the next level. You know, uh, People don't have business problems, they have personal problems that stem into their business. A lot of people think, oh man, my business isn't going the way that I want it to go. But that means you're not going the way that you want it to go because you are your business. Your business is just a reflection of you. Your business, your money, your health, all of these things are just reflections of who you are. Yasha Allah, back to you. You got anything else for us in closing?
Yes. And like you said before, a lot of these jobs are not going to pay anything after 20 years to retire. I thought about this job years ago. I've been driving since 1988. And I always tell myself when I retire, it's going to be a truck when I have an income coming in and my truck. But since I'm older, I need to invest more if I got on the program with you so I can learn how to invest more, which I didn't have the opportunity to learn. You know what I mean? So people don't think about your job. There's no, at the end of 20, 25, 30 years, there's nothing there for you. If you're going to get a good job, you better get a job that pays a lot of money where you can invest in something else or depend on Social Security alone. You know what I mean? But
Absolutely.
and my dad told me one thing, son, anybody can go in business, like you said earlier, but also the key is longevity.
There you go. I'm glad he told you that, man. It's funny because I wish I would have been told the same thing. You don't have to be a genius to run your own business, but you do need to be consistent and you do need to work. So, Yasha Allah, thank you, my brother, as always. I'm going to be on here next Wednesday at 7 p.m. So I'll see you this upcoming Wednesday and we'll take it from there. Thank you, sir. So, y'all, thank y'all so much. As always, before you go, I'm always going to give y'all your 2 free stocks. Today's show is sponsored by Webull. Webull is one of the fastest growing financial brokerage companies in the world. And the wonderful thing about Webull is that not only can you invest in stocks, you can also invest in crypto on that platform. Okay. So if y'all want 2 free stocks, all y'all got to do is click the link in the comments below. We are sponsored by Webull, and Webull is giving everybody that watches the Uzziah show 2 free stocks. So make sure that y'all check that out. Listen, y'all, the next episode is going to be this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Y'all know I usually do my shows 6 days a week from Sunday through Friday at 7 p.m. Central. But this is not a regular week. This week, I'll be doing some camping, celebrating the Feast of Tabernacles. Y'all know I give it all to the Lord and honor these high holy days. And so tomorrow, I will be offline. I will be back online this Wednesday. So I'm going to see y'all this Wednesday. Please, if you love these shows and you want to keep the shows going, make sure that you smash the like button. Make sure that you subscribe, okay? Make sure that you turn on the notification bell so that way you can be alerted whenever I do my next show. Please make sure, y'all, that you donate, because your donations go a very long way. I want to thank everybody that donated today. And if you still want to donate, it's not too late. All you need to do is tap that dollar icon directly below the live chat box. You can also donate via Cash App at $Blackman's Career or by PayPal. The links to donate are in the description below. I want to give a big shout out to Lyra Texan, the Israelite, for the $10 super chat. Nikki P for the $5 super chat. Yasha Allah for the $20 super chat. Let's keep this thing going, y'all. I love y'all. Hopefully, y'all take these lessons to heart and not be discouraged if you want to be an entrepreneur. You can do this. This is just me telling y'all the things that I wish that somebody would have told me before I got started. All right. Start off on a good foot, stay focused, and I'll see y'all this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. Keep pushing.